Hello, I am Andrea Mead. I am the health science teacher here at Van Wert High School, and I probably have your child in class this year. I teach all the health sciences this year. So this year we're looking at a little bit of a change to the classroom. I've added some things that I'm hoping are going to be helpful for the kids. Um, and you should have received a syllabus to be signed from your kid. It looks something like this. And that was due last Friday. So if your child is one of them who has not had you sign it or you haven't seen it, go ahead and ask them about that and get that turned in for me. I appreciate that. I know you guys are busy people and I know that kids are pretty forgetful, but I do need those signed and turned in. So if they haven't turned those in yet, please have them do so. I teach a semester course that is required by the state of Ohio to graduate. So they will need to pass this to go to Vantage too. Vantage does not provide a health course for them, so they do have to do that here at Van Wert. And if you ever have any questions or your child has questions, feel free to ask me. I'm pretty open with the kids. I'm reasonable. At least I like to think I am. And I'm open to parents too. So feel free. If you did not receive one of these syllabi, go ahead and mark that down. You can see my email is right there. And you can also reach me via phone here at the high school. If you called the office with a question and you asked to speak to me, they can send you over to my classroom phone. So some things that we're going to work on here in the classroom. We're already getting into it. We're understanding what health is altogether. And we're just getting the basics down. But we are going to talk about common communicable diseases. We're going to talk about vaccinations and what that all goes about. We will not be talking about COVID. I have suggested to the kids to speak to their parents about it and to keep that in a family sort of setting and in between the family and the doctor. There's a lot of different views going on with that. And I told them we're just not going to get into it. We'll get into all the past ones though. We'll talk about what has happened and some of the tragedies behind that too, and how medical findings has actually built the vaccines and the history behind that and the history of common communicable diseases. We're also going to work on reading medicine labels too. So that's going to be coming home here shortly. That's a good thing to know how much medicine to take and exactly what it's for, and just understanding over-the-counter medications. So that will be coming soon. We are going to be certifying in CPR and AED training. They will receive a student certification once they have passed all their skills testings, and that will be coming up here shortly too. So maybe some of the students have came home and said some of this already, but it's always exciting to leave with that certification in hand. We're also going to talk about nutrition, and that's going to be closer towards Thanksgiving or Easter, depending on when you're listening to this. We're going to look into a lot of physical health aspects, hygiene, activity, sleep and hydration. We're also going to touch on alcohol and drug abuse, including smoking and vaping. Those are going to be in a project at some point. We do talk about family relationships and human sexuality and human reproduction. And then we also have a mental health unit where we work with Westwood, and we have a free service that they come in and they ask if students would like to participate in. And it's a free screening as long as parents and student are comfortable doing so. And they come in and they ask about 5 or 6 questions. And this looks for depression, suicidal tendencies, maybe high anxiety that they're struggling with. And it's a good indicator for any sort of prerequisite issues that may be coming up. It's just a good quizzing for the kids to make sure that they're in a healthy stance with their mental health. And they call the parents. Everything goes through the parent before student, and I think it's a really awesome screening that Westwood has provided us for many years. And yes, we do have students that come out of that and they do have issues that are actually caught with that screening. And a lot of parents have praised before how wonderful it was to catch that prior to. So if that's something that you're looking forward to, or if you think your kid isn't really in a risk, why not try it? Let them just go through it. A lot of the times that the student isn't showing any signs or is a low rank, they just, pass through it and there's no phone call needed. So better safe than sorry is what we always say. So those papers will be coming home prior to the screening, and those will all have to be okayed from home first. So there will be permission slips and so forth, and a lot of communication to you guys through your student. So that's what we're doing for project wise. We're also doing a mental writing every Friday, or almost every Friday. So students were asked to go out and get a notebook that they can write in and keep a journal. It's just quick writes. Last week was, what does your perfect day look like? And this upcoming week is define the differences between yourself now and 5 years ago. So it's some sort of reflection too. These are supposed to be mental exercises for them to just write whatever they need in the notebook, and also help vent if needed. And I only count those as agency. So as long as they do it, they're getting their points weekly. And those are easily made up if they are absent on a Friday. I have no problem making those up with students too. On quarantines, I will be recording the lesson, and it will be in the Echo or the Google Drive that I've showed the kids how to get into. So if you're not sure, your student should know how to do it. It's always in Echo, linked to the landing page on our class. And your student is going to need their laptop daily. So if you could remind them every now and then to keep their laptop charged, that's always helpful. I am pretty laid back. I do allow the students to charge them in the classroom. I would rather have them working than in trouble. So as long as we can figure it out in the classroom, I'm going to keep them in the classroom. So if that is, they need to charge it or they need a quick run to their locker, I'm willing to work with them. As long as they come prepared, we're going to have a great year. And with quarantines, we already talked about the pre-recorded lessons that will be linked to the Google Drive. And then lastly, phones and earbuds. I do allow for some free time to listen to music. If the phones become a distraction, I will ask that the student put them in my basket that I have, and it will be one warning, second warning basket. I have noticed that kids are trying to get into the smoothness of getting into the actual classroom this year, so it is taking them a little bit of time. I am being patient with them, so we're working through it. But if that ever happens, they do receive their phone right after the class is over. They come and pick it up. And the earbuds are for any sort of video that we have that I need them to listen to complete a worksheet or to complete a prompt. But besides that, if there are any restrictions that you need, like a student is allowed to have their phone for a certain reason, or they are not allowed to have earbuds because they're too distracting, I'm more than willing to accommodate and work with you. As long as we're on the same page, as long as I understand what you are asking, I'm more than willing to work with you too. I understand it takes a village to raise these kids, and I appreciate you guys trusting me in teaching them for this year. And I hope that we have a great year this year. So far, it's been amazing. The kids are great, and you're all raising amazing children. So that's what we have for health science class this year. And I look forward to getting to know your kids and teaching them what they need to know to live a long, healthy life. Have a good one.